All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of the Infinite Abilities podcast. I have a good friend of mine. He's also in my accountability group for the 10X community, Robert Duran. This guy is amazing. He helps me all the time. And he just, his knowledge on 10X, it just surprises me every time he talks. All right, Robert, can you tell everybody how you spend most of your time?
How I spend most of my time. Well, thank you so much, Nick, for having me here. It's an honor to stop what you're doing to talk about me. Thank you so much for that, and I'm honored to be in your show. So most of my time, I do minimum 3 hours a day in self-development. So, that's a big chunk of time daily, Monday through Friday. And it's usually that right there is what I do before I pick up the phone or I attend work. Other than that, I'm always finding opportunities to help more people, service more people, find opportunities for collaborations. And then also as a hobby, I love retro. We're the inventors of National Retro Day for February 27th, international world-renowned holiday, and I just love everything retro. It amazes me. So I'm always looking at stuff that's retro.
That's so awesome, and yeah, I've seen pictures and videos from your retro day, and it just looks so cool. So I will definitely be there at some point because yeah, that's totally like up my alley. So you know, starting out, how long have you been in 10X? Like when did you find Grant? How did you find him? And when did you finally say, okay, I'm going all in?
Absolutely. So I want to say about 7 or 8 years ago, I started looking at Grant. It wasn't just Grant. It was I was going through my growth stage, and it was just learning from mentors like at that time it was Grant, um, Andy Andrews, Eric Worre, uh, who's the other? Steve Harvey. He does a lot of motivation. There's another gentleman, I can't remember his name, Tony Robbins. So it was that growth of every morning I would go on YouTube and watch a motivational video. But it wasn't until maybe about 4.5 years ago that's when I actually invested and I say, you know what, I got to learn this thing called sales. And every time I hear Grant speak, I get pumped. So that
Mm-hmm.
was the first time I invested into, and I can't remember what it was. I think it was like a boot camp, and then it just kept gravitating from there. So about 4+ years.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And that's because I've been in with Grant for I started looking at him about 2 years ago, but officially been in a community a little over a year. And but yeah, like you say, like I still do it to this day. Make sure I spend every day putting time into learning, whether that's from Grant or somebody like Tony Robbins, Rob Dial, just the people that I look up to. I always want to learn something from them every single day because that is important.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kobe Bryant used to train before even the training would start. And he said
Mhm.
that because of the hours of training he would do, that no one could keep up with him. And
Mhm.
that's how I see it here is while people are still asleep or just doing the minimum, when it comes to sales negotiation, knowing stuff in general, just having knowledge of stuff. It's just no one can keep up. It doesn't matter how much if they double time everything. I'm leap years away from where they're at. At least that's the way I push
Yep.
myself.
Yep, I agree. I agree. And you do a lot of role play calls with your clients,
Yeah, yeah.
and like that's something that yeah, to be honest, I need to do more of. I do not role play enough, And like once you start role playing, what you learn like gets into your head like 10 times faster because you're actually using it. So yeah, I love that you do your role playing. That's amazing.
Yeah. And in all transparency, when I first got into the I think it was one of the accelerators. Um, I had done role playing, but it was very taunting to me being surrounded by other people that have been there longer and
Mm-hmm.
working at a coach because I know Grant does like morning calls.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a while to get warmed up. Um, but once I committed, then it was like, hey, I got to learn this, even if I sound like crap. And now, I mean, all my clients, for the most part, except for the new ones, um, they can easily I say, all right, what happened? What did you do? All right, ring, ring. And they already know. Once they hear that ring, ring from me, they know we're already role playing in the call. There is no, oh, I'm not ready. I wasn't prepared. They're like, hi, and we're already taking them. Um, so it's just the different professionalism. Professionals know how to do it on the spot and not make
Yeah.
excuses. And role play I mean, that's how you do it through role play.
Yeah, I love that, and it's also a form of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, which is something that I live by. I know that you cannot grow as a person unless you push yourself to do something hard, do something that makes you uncomfortable. That's the only way you're going to grow and become better at basically anything in life.
Absolutely. That's why they call it the comfort zone, right? It's
Exactly.
it's all comfort, but and what happens is it gets easier, and then you're able to accomplish more. I attended a chamber yesterday, and I'm talking to like the heavy dogs from the chamber,
Hmm.
and I'm talking to them, and they're in a different mindset, and I'm bringing all these ideas, and they're like, "Oh my God, yes, we need that," and oh man, and people are coming up to me, "Man, I've heard of you," like. It's just because I'm doing things outside of the comfort zone. So, and these people, they play with the big dogs, and I'm just like, man, like I gotta partner up with them and show them a lot of this. But it goes back to outside of the comfort zone, just
Hmm.
doing things that most people don't do or don't want to do.
Exactly. And, it also goes down to something as simple as just do it. Just do the thing, you know? And one thing that Grant teaches us is to take time out of the equation. Stop procrastinating, stop thinking you need to learn more. Just do it and figure it out later. I commit first, figure it out later. I think that's super important. What do you think about that?
That's how I live by, man. All the events that I host, that's how I do it. Like I literally thought, I was like, oh, you know what? Grant's accepting Bitcoin for a house. I'm like, I could be accepting Bitcoin for my packages. So I just posted and I already had comments. Bible study too. I'm just like, you know what? I've been wanting to do a Bible study for a while. I just hadn't done it, put it, and all of a sudden just people are like, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of it. So I'm like, there you go. I didn't have anything
Hmm.
structured. And even today, in all transparency, we just did it. I'm taking notes on things that I want to do for the next one,
Hmm.
right? But for the most part, I mean, it was done professional. It was amazing. But I committed first. I did it, and now I'm just going to tweak it, just like a cell phone, right? Cell phones are always doing updates because they're
Hmm.
always finding ways to improve it and remove glitches. So yeah, I 100% commit first, figure it out later.
Hmm. I love that. I love that. So, what advice would you give someone who's starting their entrepreneurial journey? Like, think back to when you just got started. What advice would have helped you at that time?
I had a discussion in another podcast I was a part of, and I had never thought about this, but because of that, it added clarity. And all my life, Nick, I've never had a mentor. Um, I didn't necessarily have, I had people to look up to, but I didn't have guidance in certain areas, which is great because that's how I was developed, right? That's why I'm so independent. But the skill that was missing was mentorship, saying, hey, this is how you get to this. So as I've always lived by figure it out yourself, and I took pride, and to a degree, I still take pride in that, but very low, to figure it out yourself. So the advice that I would tell myself is look for the people or peoples, there might be two or three, not any more than that live the lifestyle, that promote what you like, that do what you want to do, and just do what they do. That's it. Don't listen to anyone else, follow them. And that's why I'm following Grant and all the people that he's bringing in, because that is, for the most part, what I want to do. There is certain things that I don't want to do that Grant's doing, but he's teaching me on different tools, different ways to get me to where I want to be. So that's the number one thing, is don't try to figure it out. Like I have a family member that wants to get into real estate. And I'm like, why do you want to get into real estate? And they're like, well, because I want to sell houses and I want to make money and I want to be my own boss. I'm like, true, but what part of real estate? A realtor, a lender, a broker, an investor? And based on what she told me, because of what I know through Grants and the people I work with, investment side is what she's looking for, but she's trying to figure it out herself, and she's choosing becoming a realtor, which is not going to give her what she wants. So that goes to what, and I asked her, where'd you get that information from? She's like, oh, well, I think I should do this and this. So it goes back to the mentorship versus trying to figure it out ourselves. So if you're trying to become a professional, don't think that you're the authority, because you're not. Don't try to recreate the wheel, because it's already been done. Just follow them and commit to it 100%. That's what I would recommend.
Exactly. There's somebody out there who's done what you want to do. So just find them, see what they did,
Yeah.
and just go with it. That's what we're doing. And we're just putting, you put your own twist on it, You're
That's
not
it.
you're not becoming a Grant Cardone. I'm not a Grant Cardone either. I'm putting my own twist on what I learned from him to do what I want to do and what I'm passionate about.
Yeah. And if you think about it, all the successful people, they're all saying somewhat of the same thing, just differently. Like everyone. Like I hear Grant, I'm like, I heard Bob Proctor say that. I hear Bob Proctor and I'm like, he learned from Napoleon Hill. And Earl Nightingale. And then I hear Earl Nightingale and I'm just like, he learned from Andy Andrews. Like I'm just like, or not Andy Andrew, Andrew Carnegie.
Yeah.
It's just they all put their little twist to it. And they should.
Yeah.
They got to be true to themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, I see that a lot too. Like everything's connected. It's kind of crazy. Like once you start seeing things, it's like, whoa, that's cool. Like this does work, or something like that. So, what is your favorite book?
Right now, in this current time, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
Oh, I've heard a lot of good things about that. I have not read it yet.
Stop what you're doing and read it. Like I'm
Okay.
dead serious. And I've read a lot of good books, and I will continue, I'm pretty sure. But at this time, this moment, um, Napoleon Hill. He created it in 1938, which was his second book right after the big global hit that's still changing lives, Think and Grow Rich. And it
Yep.
wasn't published until 2011
Mm-hmm.
because of the fear of what it was going to do to people and wake them up. And finally in 2011, and I'm on my fifth reading, and I'm going to do a sixth time on it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Crazy. Recommend it, Nick, for real. And
Yeah.
everyone that's hearing as well.
I'll get right on that. It was so good because I'm just about done with the current book I'm on, so now I can get that one.
Do it. And then just promise me that you're going to share it with somebody else.
Oh yeah, of course. I share most of my books that I get. Yeah, awesome. So you're a 10x coach. What's your favorite part about that?
I have clients that I'm really changing their entire program and seeing them certain things click. I see clients get emotional.
Hmm.
So I think the biggest thing is that when they understand what's happening, I know the impact of what it's going to do, not just for them, but for their kids, the people around them, the future generations. Um, I that's to me is the greatest. Just and I committed to myself when I was 28, Nick. Two things. I stopped everything, looked in the mirror, and I said, Robert, what the hell do you want to do for the rest of your life? And I said, I want to do two things. The first one is I want to run networking groups. I want to add value to people's lives by putting people together and something coming out of it, whether it's business or relationship, volunteer, and that's why I own the BNG and we continue to grow. But the second one was I want to become a coach and I want to teach people things that are going to have a huge impact in their lives. So I'm now 39 and that's what I've been focused on. So those are the two things. So when I see people changing their paradigms, seeing things different, they're more confident. They're now for the first time thinking and not allowing outside factors wear them down. They're literally just looking at their goals and their targets and they're thinking of what else can they do to be bigger and better. And they understand that that's the greatest freaking feeling. And I know I just had a Bible study. I know that's exactly what God's thinking with us when we shine. Is He wants to see His children be the best, and that's what I'm doing here in this world, and that's why I'm here. So those are the two things why I'm here, and that's one of the reasons why. Your question was, "What's my favorite part?" Is that
Yeah,
one of the two?
that that's amazing. A great answer. And yeah, it's all about helping others. Like the joy that you get from helping others be better. It's you can't top it. You can't beat that. That is the best feeling ever.
It's Puff Daddy's getting a lot of stuff going on, man. But I've always looked up to Puff, and
Yeah.
he says it. The Bible says it. Bob Proctor says it, and he says, "Don't go after the money, go after helping people,
Hmm.
like service them and help them, and the money will come."
Yeah.
And that took me a while, to be honest, because I'm always been about making money, making money, making money. But the more awareness and the more trainings, it's not about the money, it's about the service that you provide and the value, then that's when people are like, take my money. So it just comes with it.
Yeah.
It's the cause and the effect.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
It is. And I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just remarkable when you realize, like for me, this year, I realized that God put me here to help others, and I wasn't doing that before. Hey, I was a little bit, but not like I am now. Now, actually, it's my mission to help others, and it's just, looking back, like this is not what I thought I would be doing at all, you know, but not even close. Like my worst day at school was when the teacher would call on you to go up in front of the class and talk. That was my worst day
Yeah.
in school. And now it's like I'm talking to hundreds of people a day. I'm making videos for social media that are getting thousands of views a day. And I'm speaking in front of, groups of people in person. Like, who would have thought that that's where I would be right now? But it's what I was put here to do. I'm here to help others.
The I'm laughing because you were scared to walk up, and you have your own reasons, but for me, I can relate because um being I guess being brought up in the border town, English and Spanish are just entwined.
Yeah.
So there's words that we make up on our own, but that for me, it affected my spelling. So for me, I remember being in school and they would make us after like a spelling bee test, they would make us go and spell it out in front of everyone. And to me, I remember that time. I remember just dreading to be called because I had so much trouble. And I'm not dyslexic or anything like that. Be, I guess again, the border town really, the way I hear things and the way I say it, I'm not the best speller. And I had one lady, she's now one of my top clients, but I was typing some stuff and I was in a hurry and I misspelled her name. And
Mhm.
she said, "Oh, well, you're a coach, but you don't know how to spell." She told me that. Amazing lady, older lady. And I said, you know what, ma'am? I see where you're coming from, but if I was an English teacher, then yeah, absolutely, this would be a problem. But I'm a sales coach. And what I do is I
Yep.
teach people how to sell. Are you ready to get started? And boom, she's like, you know what? You're right. Let's go. And now she's one of my best clients. But that's just a little confidence with Grant, and then also my spelling. I'm not the best at spelling. No one's
I'm
perfect.
I'm terrible at spelling. Terrible. I just, if it wasn't for autocorrect,
Bro,
yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God. Or when I'm pretty sure because we're around the same age.
yeah. I'm
Right.
at 32. You're at 39.
39. And I remember I used to be like, teacher, how do you spell this? She's like, look it up in the dictionary. And I'm like, how am I going to look it up in the dictionary if it's misspelled in my head? Like, how am I going
Yeah.
to find it? It made no sense.
No.
There's a silent E or something, and I'm just like looking in the wrong place. So
Yeah.
shout out to Auto Speller and Google Speller and all those, man, because it was a pain in the butt back in the day.
Yeah. I'm so glad that I can just go on my phone and find anything.
Not even find it, just talk to it,
Yeah,
and then
I do
send.
that constantly, constantly. Yep.
Yeah, that's funny.
Awesome. That's funny. Yeah, yeah. We don't have to be good at everything. We just have to be good at a couple of things.
No, even I look up to so Karen Kokeni, who's a 10X coach.
Yep.
She does a lot of the wealth mindset, a lot of Bob Proctor and stuff.
Hmm.
And even Bob Proctor, I mean, this guy, he passed away in 2022. He's been around for a long time, worked with the best. And he
Hmm.
even said, he's like ignorance. He was talking about ignorance. He's like, there's nothing wrong with being ignorant in areas that you're not using. So he's like, if you ask me to change my oil or make a blueberry pie, I don't know how to do it, nor do I want to do it. Now, in what I love to do and my profession, I'm going to continue to learn. So going back to your statement of we don't need to know everything.
Hmm.
We don't. It's fun. But how many people do you know that know everything and they're still broke, they're still unhappy, and they're not getting anywhere? So it's
Yeah.
just it's finding something you love, stay in your lane, and master everything that it has to do, and be open to finding new ways to make it better,
Hmm.
faster, and impact more people. That's why I'm digging the AI. It's making things so much easier that we can attach more people, we can help more people faster, save time. Because
Hmm.
time, who said that? Actually, in Outwitting the Devil, time is the most valuable asset we own,
Hmm.
but it's also the cheapest.
Ooh, that is good and true. Wow.
Yeah, I heard that and I
I,
said, oof,
oof. Yeah. Wow.
yeah,
It's so true though. Like it can be valuable and cheap. Just depends on what you're doing with it.
yeah,
Wow. That's good.
yeah.
So, I've heard a lot of people say different things. Do you feel you need to be passionate about what you're doing? or do you feel like you could learn anything and become passionate?
From my experience, because we all have done things just for the money and just to get
Mm-hmm.
by. And I mean, a lot of people get stuck there. And that's why a lot of people are unhappy with their jobs and they provide bad service. And now companies are shutting down and the customer never got service because they were just doing something just to get by
Mm-hmm.
or they were limiting themselves. So if you truly want to be happy, then be passionate in what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're still gonna go through the same crap as if you don't like it. The difference is you don't mind as much because you're passionate about it. It's just something that makes you feel good and you love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that are not passionate about something, continue to look. Because I didn't, I mean, I told you, 28. I had been an entrepreneur since I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, not even before that. I was the little kid selling Mexican candies, bootlegged movies. Um, I'm fourth and fifth grade, sixth grade, selling all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
High school, I was doing underage parties. Like, so I've always had some type of the hustle in me.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that was ingrained in me. Um, so that there was some type of passion there that it just,
Mm-hmm.
I like it. But there's no amount of money you can pay me to become a professional figure skater and have to train hardcore. And I might make it to the Olympics because, I'm going to commit to it, but long term, I'm going to be miserable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yep.
like the cold. I don't want to be spinning and wearing those tight tutus. I don't know what the guys of spandex like. No, I'm not going to be passionate about it. I'll earn a gold medal, but I'm going to quit. So long term, that was kind of a waste of time. Like, you know.
Yep.
So to answer your question, Nick, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Be passionate in what you do. And if you're not there yet, just sit down and look at what you've done in your life, your entire life, and you're going to see a pattern. And that's how I found out mine. I saw that God was grooming me through these little things that I said, oh, these are my strengths. And I noticed I like this. And then this happened. And had this happened, this wouldn't have happened, which I have a lot of those too. I had the
Yep.
opportunity to I went for comedy and acting. I had a chance. I came on an MTV and all that stuff. Like I was pursuing at that time in my younger 20s. I dropped everything, moved to California to pursue that. And then when I moved to Austin, I was a DJ. So on the weekends at the nightclubs, had an opportunity to work with one of the top producers. You may know him, Selena, right? Everyone knows Celino, the one that got shot, the Tejano star, the
Okay.
brother. Like we were working. I mean, they're big,
Mm-hmm.
and the people they inspire, movies and Netflix and all that. But it didn't work out. And I think about it now, and I say, you know what? I would have been miserable if I would have
Mm-hmm.
gone through different lifestyle and all that. And I was passionate about it, but to a degree. Be passionate, guys. Be passionate in what you guys do.
Yep. I agree. Because if you love what you're doing, you're gonna do it a lot better and help more people. So yeah, that's awesome. All right, so what does my slogan, "Your abilities are infinite," mean to you?
So we are made by the creator who's infinite, all knowing, the Alpha. And every gift that we have, we're the only species that can think, imagine, will, reason. We can imagine. I mean, we got everything, but we need to tap into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, infinite means that if you can harness what's already inside you. Like actually understand that you were created by a God that created everything, and you are more important than the dog, you're more important than the mountain, you're more important than Mars, you're more important than the universe, because those are just objects. You're actually something that can, you're your own, pretty much your own universe
Mm-hmm.
with the neutrons and the electrons and the atoms. Like there's so much stuff going on here. One other thing is I've heard that our body can light up all of North America for about a week. That's how much energy we consume.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that unlimited, infinite potential to do whatever you want to infinity, then my question is for everyone is, why aren't you tapping into it? Why aren't you using it? Why aren't you helping more people with it? Why are you paralyzing yourself not to do it? We're ingrained with it. Tap into it because it's already there.
Yeah.
And I believe Bob Proctor says that. He says nothing, and both people that are more religious and scientific, they say nothing is created or gone. Like if I have a dollar bill, he shows us. If I have a dollar bill and he lights it on fire and it just burns up, did it go somewhere or is it still here?
Hmm.
It's still here,
Yeah.
right? So
Still there.
nothing new is ever created
Mm-hmm.
or deleted. So that being said, that everything that you have is already in here. Your infinite
Mm-hmm.
power is already here. You just have to be in tune with it
Mm-hmm.
and know how to tap into it.
Exactly. I love that. That, yeah. Thank you
And
so. Thank you.
of course,
So, how can people find you?
Robert Alfonso Duran on Facebook is probably the easiest. And then from there, send me a message and I'll send you all the links. That's Robert
Yeah.
and then Alfonso Duran on Facebook. And yeah, and then I could link you up to all the IGs and LinkedIn's and in MySpace, there are a lot of Robert Durans, right? You got the boxer, you got Duran, uh, Durant, Kevin Durant. He ruined it for me, man. He put that T at the end, so they're like Robert Durant. I'm like, whoa, wrong guy. So that's one of my motivations. So when people say, "Hey, Robert Duran," they're like, "Oh, yeah, the guy that changes lives." Yeah, I know
Mhm.
that guy.
There you go.
That's my goal.
Awesome. And yeah, I'll put all your links in the show notes so everybody can find you.
I appreciate
Thank
it,
you
Nick.
so much for being here. This was great.
I appreciate it, Nick.
So, all right, everyone. That was another episode of the Infinite Abilities podcast. Remember, your abilities are infinite.